But thank you so much, parents, for taking your time out this morning. It's an important juncture in the life of our children. I won't say your children, but our children. And it's also an important part of the journey for each of you. So, when you have in a church, when the marriage takes place, at the marriage ceremony, the priest will give a message or a sermon, and more often than not, you find that everybody is listening to the sermon except for the bridegroom and the bride, because their focus is on each other. Whereas actually the message should be most impactful for the bridegroom and the bride. Am I right? So also, probably your students, and I don't know if it's a better idea to have them come up here, maybe from the third row this side, because they're right at the back. Could we have them, Khushbu, please? Can I request you to please get them? Not because you need to be under the scanner, but just because I think it'll be better for you all, because what is being shared here, and though parents have come this morning to listen in, and I see some parents are, going to be taking notes, which is okay. If you don't also, it's absolutely fine, because this presentation and much of whatever else you need, we're always available. It will be made available to you all. But I think that, like I said in the message in a church, that wedding message is not so much for the groom and the bride's families, but more so for those for whom it's most important. So I hope all of you young 13, 14-year-olds are listening carefully to whatever will be shared. Now, one of the great gifts that we have as human beings is choice. Am I right? Yes or no? Is it a gift? It's a massive gift, isn't it? But sometimes choice can also be a bit of a burden, right? And so this morning, as you come, see, till grade 8, there is a stream of collective learning that you have been doing, right? So all of you have been doing English and social science and the science, etc. and going along in that progression, except for your language, whether it's, your languages of Spanish or French or Hindi, whatever else that you've been doing there. But then when you come to grade 9, the first point of choice comes in terms of your academics as to what are the subjects that you will be choosing. And then another point comes 2 years later when you are going to further streamline that and you choose, what am I going to do in 11th and 12th, based on what career choices you're going to take. And then comes another choice after 2 years. So the next 4 years are going to be choices that you're going to make. And now, while some of you get confused with this fork, should I take this fork or that fork? What subject should I take? Even within that curriculum, we are here to help you out. So this session is to help you open your minds out. And one of the principal learner profiles is of course, your open-mindedness. And like I said on Saturday last to grade 10, who were making the choice 2 years from now, what you would be doing, of what they should be doing in grade 11, I said, is that be open-minded. So don't come with a closed mindset, and a good, educated mind in the 21st century. One of the skills, along with all these skills, you may not be able to see all of it, is, the concept of open-mindedness. And then these are some 21st century skills, which of course has been brought into you already through what you've been doing in the school and through your educational journey so far as young people. But this will further get embedded as you go up. Critical thinking, adaptability, collaboration, innovation, global citizenship, the capacity to be in an Indian context, but yet to look at global issues. So this is something that you will have. One of the beauty about a curriculum that you've been doing like the MYP, and then now you will go on to have a choice between MYP and IGCSE in grade 9, is the fact that we don't want you to think like this. You know the scene, which movie it's taken from? The Matrix, right? And why do you think I put this up, this scene? Not so that you go home and watch that movie tonight, all right? But more so to realize that the curriculum and the 21st century doesn't want you to think for cloned, repetitive answers. All right? Instead, we would want you to be focusing on something like this. You know what this is, right? The human fingerprint. And scientific knowledge and scientific research shows that more than 8 billion people in the world, and we have 10 fingers, and none of our fingerprints are the same. You are unique. Your journey is unique. Your choices are unique. And we come from different family circumstances, so the way we are shaped is also unique. So what I would urge you all is that don't make choices because you're young and impressionable, so you would make choices based on what your friends are saying. Or what is the majority of the students, are they doing this particular subject? I'm going to do that. Why? Because my friend is doing it. So you will hear a lot from the coordinators, from Ms. Sonali, and of course Ms. Namrata Mishra, who is our college advisor, who will also talk to you about how you should make wise choices. So we are here in this journey with each of you students as well as with you parents. So you do not have to leave this auditorium with the fact that, oh, I need to make a choice tonight and otherwise it's not. No, it's a conversation that we will encourage you to have with your children. Help them to take a informed choice where they are the major stakeholders of the choices that they will make, and also with each of us here who's present and absolutely available to support you in this journey. So all the very best even as you come to this junction, and let's have a beautiful open-minded day where we will listen and we will make an informed choice, which I'm sure will have impacts and beautiful impacts for each of you students. We really want to see the best for each of you. Thank you, and I'll hand over to Ms. Sonali to take this forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. My dear parents, students, coordinators, Ms. Namrata, teachers here. It's really a very important day for all of us. And I'm so happy to speak to you on this very important milestone where you're going to make decisions. And I'm going to keep it really brief. I have 3 slides. Mr. Ibrahim has already spoken about one of them, but I'll elaborate on it further about choices. And the first slide is a quote by Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one that is most adaptable to change. You are moving from grade 8 to grade 9. And there's going to be a huge change. And at every stage of your middle school to high school, there's going to be a shift in the way you think. Please be very open-minded to this new change. And this change is going to come with the good, bad, and not so good. I'll never call it ugly. But it's your approach, it's your adaptability to that change which will decide whether you are successful or not. I'll just take one example. When COVID hit us, it was a very, very problematic phase of all our lives as educators, as you children, as parents sitting here. It wasn't easy. But what we did was we adapted to the change. And I'll only take a bubble of what was the change for us and you. And how, when we adapt to change effectively, we come out as winners. And the change required us to move online. We adapted it. The change required you to come online in front of the screens to be alive and kicking for all of us. To pay attention when you actually could have the choice of playing a game vis-a-vis listening to a class. For your parents to see you all the time in the home and to struggle. But we all adapted to this change, and lo and behold, we are here, winners. We know that tomorrow, if there is a scenario of going online, we can switch. And that is what is the beauty of humans. We have so much potential to adapt to change, and this is how we have to look at. Remember those very, very dark days. Whenever you are in a situation in your journey, remember how you've come out as a winner, and you can still do it. My second quote talks about none other than our own Mahatma Gandhi. The future depends on what you do today. And I'll again talk about what Mr. Abraham said about making the right choices. It's very important that whatever you choose today keeps your future intact. You may not know the choices that you are making. You may tweak them. But at this moment when you are sitting, please deliberate over the choices. Whatever we are doing now is going to shape our bright future. Take climate change. Often we talk about very big conferences in climate change, the COP and all, and we say, oh my God, only big people can talk about climate change and they can make a difference in the world through their research, through their, jobs. No, we also can make a difference. A simple act of switching off the light, a simple act of saving water, a simple act of not filling the full glass of water when you only require a bit, a sip, can make a difference. So the future depends on what you do today. Please be very conscientious of that. And small things make a difference. Children, you don't have to do very big things. They go a long way in making you responsible to give to the world which you belong, and you want to keep it for future generations. And the last is, time is really the only capital any human being has and the only thing he can't afford to lose. As I'm talking to you, time is ticking. This moment will never come. Make every day a meaningful day for yourself in this journey. This moment when we are talking to each other will never come again. And just down the line, you'll suddenly be sitting here for your graduation. What have I achieved? So you have to think about your graduation day today and look back at these few years which are going to be your backward planning. What is it that I want from these years till I reach grade 12 and I pass out and go for an undergrad school? What do I need? How can I manage my time effectively to get the best? How many papers will I help to publish or just be doing a lovely research? How am I contributing to the society in these so many years? What am I doing to, help people around me? What am I doing to shape my future? How am I making the right choices? This is the time. Don't let it go. Don't trivialize your decisions. Don't make it meaningless. Every step, every time you're getting out of a home for any occasion, think, what is it? Use up your empty spaces. They say that even when we come out from a house to receive someone in the lift, we can avoid and do something else, maybe read up a formula. There are a lot of empty spaces that we, just while away. Think about empty spaces. Think about time. It's really powerful. Respect it. Respect your own time and the time of others. So do a good job. Make it a meaningful year. Deliberate on your choices. embrace the change, and enjoy this journey. All the very best. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's invite Sumit, our MYP coordinator, to take us through ahead.
Good morning. Good morning, parents. Good morning, Mr. Alex. Good morning, Ms. Sonali. Good morning, all the teachers, coordinators, and good morning, students. Can I hear a louder good morning this time? Good morning. Not loud enough. Another one. Good morning. Doesn't work. The third time's the magic. Good morning. Slightly better. Okay, so let's keep the bar high always, isn't it? All right, so I am Sumit. I am the MYP coordinator at Prometheus. This has been a roller coaster for MYP3, so I must thank all of the parents for their support constantly, and Mr. Alex and Ms. Sonali for setting the ground so well. And I will pick on those threads as I go on speaking. The two words that are in my mind right now after the brief introduction is change and uniqueness, and I will kind of tap into these words when I talk to everyone. So there'll be a bit of time travel, really. So what you see on the right on this screen is not the current MYP model, but the first MYP model that got created on the curriculum in the 1980s. In other words, this was the first iteration of how the IB imagined the middle years to be. That is, it always imagined that the learner will be at the heart of whatever we do. And we embrace the uniqueness more and more as you move to the next years of the MYP. Because the MYP 1, 2, 3 gave you that background of what all you could do. But now is the time to sort of come to closure and come to sort of assessment of skills, of values that you've learned over the last 3 years. So in other words, the model has really evolved over the last, 40, 50 years. But what we have today is a more refined understanding of middle years. But as of now, what we don't know, and I think I would definitely tap into what Ms. Sonali and Mr. Alex said, we don't know what is coming. And hence, now I'll do a bit of time travel. Come 2023, something really disrupted our lives, especially in academia, which was ChatGPT. We are constantly seeing ChatGPT around us. Students, ChatGPT assessments, something reminds us of the temptation of using ChatGPT, right? The idea is, could you prepare yourself for ChatGPT? Could you prepare yourself for what was coming? Could you have a guide ready before ChatGPT came and disrupted us? Did we have a method or a mechanism to deal with COVID? We did not. So what we know for sure is we don't know what is coming. That's what the MYP prepares you for. So if I were to be a little more tangible, you are using ChatGPT in your personal project, and we work with you to make you understand that it's a tool and not a substitute for yourself. So in other words, the MYP incorporates AI, the MYP incorporates what's coming, the MYP incorporates the unknown. I don't know what the future is going to be, but the skills that we deliver for the 5 years of this program surely put you at a good standing, and research talks about that, and I will talk about that as well. Research puts you in a good standing for what is coming, for wherever you want to go. We don't know what path you will take at the grade 11 stage, but what you will end up doing is managing yourself, managing your own time, researching, communicating with others, and we make sure that we assess even those skills that may not be accessible, if that's a word. If they are not accessible, we still make sure we give some sort of a judgment to you where they are. The next piece is a bit of understanding of the adolescent brain, and I am talking to the parents right now primarily. The adolescent brain, and research says, is very likely to take risks, and it always develops with reflection. In simple words, if I were to tell you that we grew in an environment which was artificial, perhaps, it did not prepare us to reflect or set goals. But the MYP makes sure it responds to the adolescent brain by giving you enough understanding that we grow by taking reasonable risks. We allow students to take those choices, make those risks, make those choices and take those risks. But in fact, the point being that we allow those to happen in a safe environment. And we allow the adolescent brain to grow in the way it responds the best. Brain research has grown over the last 50 years, and the MYP also has corresponded to that in as many words. It does seem sometimes that it does not have a lot of tangibles, but well, sometimes the tangibles are not the only thing you want to assess. You want to see how the student has grown over the last 5 years. It may not be a part of a report card, but it is definitely a part of the personality of the student. So in other words, there are, and now I'm talking to the students, some things change and some things continue. So I'm going to talk about first what continues. So what continues are your subjects. What continues is the idea of the criteria. They still become the benchmark of assessment. The variety of subjects continues. The contexts continue. We do keep responding to what comes, what doesn't come. The MYP allows that flexibility at all points, and that flexibility can be making a little, can make you nervous, but I think really the real world makes us nervous every day, doesn't it? So the other is the mix of the portfolio, the services action, SAA services action. So you have to do community work. It goes as a mandatory requirement in the MYP 5. You have to do an e-portfolio. I will talk about that. You are currently doing all portfolio right now. And of course, your discipline subject areas continue. That is what continues. But what also continues, and what you remember from my first slide, if you now see, this is the refined model of the MYP, which has come after about 50 years of work, isn't it? But what continues in this as well is that the learner is the heart of what we do, and the learner continues to be the center of our attention. In simple words, we teach students, we may not be teaching subjects. In other words, we focus on the student really. And the approaches to teaching and learning, that is building of skills like research, communication, social, self-management, these are all integrated even in the assessments by MYP 5. Again, I cannot really assess all skills all the time, but yes, definitely create a system, and MYP has created a system for assessing those at different points of MYP 5. So by the time you graduate from MYP 5, you are ready to take on anything that you wish to, and I will talk about that as well. But there are a few changes that come to the table. What changes? Number one, the IB gives out a specific topic list to you, which may not be a syllabus, that is, it may not exhaustively tell you everything, but it will tell you the contours of what is being assessed by MYP 5. It gives you the blueprint of the assessment, it gives you the mark scheme of the assessment, it gives you a specified list. What we also have are choices within the sciences and or the portfolios. That is, I will show you the banding and I will make sure that it is clear. There is an evolved understanding of assessment that you will have, because now assessment will be online as well. We will have e-assessment by the end of MYP 5, and I have a video on that. You can see how it will look. For students, you will see how your final assessment of MYP 5 will look like. There is also the introduction to the personal project, which will happen, which is something I'm extremely proud of at Prometheus, because we have allowed students to explore whatever they had to. And I will go back to Mr. Alex's idea of the fingerprint, and we have allowed students to go in any direction that they have wanted to. We have had students pick up beautiful ideas, which are wide-ranging from writing an anthology of poems to making self-defense jewelry, to maybe perhaps creating a sustainable architectural material. Students have done that they wanted to in their imagination. So the world is open for you in the personal project. As long as you adhere to some of the criteria of assessment, we are absolutely open to you doing anything under personal project. It is not a subject-related project, but if you choose to write a research paper and that you want to make a personal project, that's also all right with us. And interdisciplinary learning also comes in. I will come back to this point as well. The personal project, as I told you, this is this year's personal project, and we have one of our MYP 5 students who was part of this as well. So the MYP 5 culminates with the personal project exhibition, and there's a 15-page report that goes out at the end of MYP 5. If be all and all, you are learning writing for 15 pages of report. You are learning how to structure your goal setting, how to reflect, how to write, how to go back and see what failure can look like and to bounce back again. So you are learning all of that in the personal project. You are studying your regular subjects, but you are definitely focusing on what you are passionate about. Where are you in the picture? That's the most important for us in the MYP. The next 5 minutes, I'm going to play a video which is going to give you an assessment, and I'm jumping tracks a little to show you what the assessment will look like in MYP. This is a science demo video, so you'll get an understanding of the kind of things, the kind of work that goes in the e-assessment. Because it's so uncommon, I thought you should be introduced to this idea now.
MYP on-screen examinations are unique because they reflect best classroom practice. Typical summative assessments from MYP units are sampled, simulated, or replicated. The best preparation for MYP on-screen examinations is high-quality teaching and learning organized by the MYP unit planning process. MYP on-screen examinations are designed with common features that promote consistency across subjects. These include topic lists and examination blueprints. They are written to directly assess the knowledge and skills described in MYP subject assessment criteria. E-assessment in sciences is offered in biology, chemistry, physics, and integrated sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics. The IB's on-screen examinations are not like other examinations with an extensive detailed list of required content to cover. Instead, the on-screen examinations in sciences are written with the expectation that students have completed a number of topics that define the examinable subject matter for MYP on-screen examinations. For biology, for example, students are expected to have completed topics such as cells, organisms, processes, and metabolism. The full topic list for biology, chemistry, physics, and integrated sciences can be found in the subject guides that are available on the IB's password-protected program resource center. The guide to e-assessment explains which standardized symbols, notations in science disciplines, and terminology students are expected to recognize, and teachers should introduce these as a regular part of MYP courses in these subject groups as appropriate. Students will have access to tools such as an age-appropriate version of the periodic table, which is included in chemistry and integrated science examinations. The physics and integrated science examinations have an inbuilt formula sheet. All science examinations have an on-screen calculator. MYP on-screen examinations are constructed as a series of tasks that sample, simulate, or replicate school-based assessment practices. Blueprints enable teachers and students to review the nature and purpose of MYP e-assessment. They provide an important resource for helping students to prepare for on-screen examinations, focusing attention on subject group criteria and assessment strategies in each subject group. And this is how the actual on-screen examination looks. You can see the ease of use of the IB's purpose-built examination software. It has a look and feel familiar to those who use the internet every day. The starting point for each task is identified by the section that has an image from the task and also details of how the criteria, the things students must be able to do, are assessed within that task. The on-screen examination opens with questions assessing criterion A, knowing and understanding, although marks may be awarded against the other criteria when appropriate to the skills used in answering a question. Scientific investigation skills, criterion B and criterion C, are assessed in the second task. The task may involve a single investigation, or it may assess specific skills in a number of discrete scenarios. A variety of rich media will be used to present different challenges. Students should expect to formulate hypotheses, plan investigations, collect data from simulations, present data appropriately, and interpret and evaluate data and hypotheses. The on-screen environment provides the perfect platform for students to demonstrate their ability in planning investigations and collecting simulated data. The simulations are custom-built by our in-house media team. The third task requires students to explain how science is used to address a real-life issue. This task will be assessed against criterion D, but there may be occasions when marks are also awarded against the other three criteria when this is appropriate for the question. Students should expect to write extended responses which consider one or more of the factors indicated in the subject guide. Clearly, there is limited scope for research and reflection in the context of an on-screen exam. Instead, authors provide students with stimulus materials set in a real-life context, often the global context for the session. Students are expected to use their scientific comprehension skills to discuss and evaluate the implications of using science in the given context. Again, a detailed scaffold is provided to support candidate responses. What you have seen here provides a good indication of how the MYP on-screen examinations for sciences look and how teaching and learning in the...
Right. Sorry, I'm ending it abruptly because, well, I wanted to get you a sense of what the MYP e-assessment will look like. This is the final assessment that the students will take at the end of MYP 5. So this is the task, that's how it looks like, that's the feel of it, and we have, again, as I said, one student who's preparing in a month to take, or 2 months to take this assessment. All right. The next piece, and I will sort of now be a little quick on these few next slides because I think I've sort of made a point. This is symbolic of interdisciplinary learning that comes in the MYP. That is, interdisciplinary learning is where you get an issue to study. For instance, the IB on the 1st of April will come out with material on a particular issue. It could be electric vehicles, it could be climate change, it could be issues on advertisements, on marketing, it could be absolutely anything, and you are expected to write an assessment based on that, taking 2 subjects on board. So you are getting to deal with real world issues constantly at every juncture of the MYP, and that is perhaps the most important according to me. But I'm not saying the benefits of the MYP only, research also talks about that. The Australian Council for Educational Research came up with a study and did assess what happens to MYP students when they go ahead in higher courses, when they take up DP, A levels, when they go to college. Their study said that students were more capable to deal with skills such as, well, understanding was pretty much at par with the non-MYP, but if you look at applying to other academic areas, if you look at applying to real-life situations, analyzing, evaluating, synthesizing, the MYP students had an upper hand on them. But yes, I would not say the MYP is perfect. MYP was found to have students not being prepared for examinations, but then it also said how much of exam is important versus assessment. And there's a difference between someone being exam ready and someone being assessment capable. And MYP was found to make students deal with assessments well, may not be the exams that we traditionally know. But well, structures are changing, things are changing, isn't the life around us changing? But also to quote the personal project again, the personal project that was, and I'm reading from the report exactly, the personal project undertaken in the MYP was specifically highlighted as supporting reflection and goal setting, as well as assisting in the extended essay in the DP. In other words, goal setting and reflection is what you have to do in the personal project, and that skill goes beyond the MYP, beyond the DP, beyond A levels, beyond anywhere else. So how does your transcript look like? What are your points like? I'm coming to a little bit of more specifics now, and then I'll call the students. You have English language literature, which has 7 points. You have Hindi, French, Spanish, the language that you've been studying for the last 3 years. You continue that for the next 2 years. Integrated humanities will have 7 points. One of physics, chemistry, biology will have 7 points. That doesn't mean that you do one science. The best science that you have done will be taken for your 56 points. So even if you do all 3 and you have landed up with a 766, the 7-point science gets calculated for your 56 points. Mathematics, of course, is there. Music, theater, dance, visual art, design, PHE. One of these portfolios gets counted for 7 points. Even if you're doing 2, the best one gets taken. Personal project is 7 points, that's mandatory. Interdisciplinary learning is an assessment also that is mandatory. This makes it 56 points for you. Now, this does not mean that you're doing one science or one portfolio. I want to make the MYP4 push themselves a little bit more. So hence, the banding system that you have is that your English language and literature is mandatory, of course. One of Spanish, French, Hindi will happen. Now, there are 2 levels. If someone wants to pursue the 3rd one, we are happy to offer that as well. But as of now, we have capable or emergent. Integrated humanities is your history, geography, economics, everything, politics blended together in one integrated humanities course. You have chemistry, physical health education as an option. You pick one of these. Mathematics is standard or extended. So if you want to, and we will encourage as much of math enthusiasts to push themselves, we will have extended math for them and standard math for the students who want to pursue maths but not at an extended level or at a higher level. Biology, visual arts, pick one. Physics, theater, dance, pick one. And visual arts, product design, digital design, you pick one. So you will have 8 bands, 8 subjects, or 8 areas to work in. All right, and I'm happy to have these bands being discussed. So again, if the forms are there, please write to us and we will be happy to discuss them further. The MYP goes to the DP and the A level very smoothly. Here is what you have. The IDU goes to the theory of knowledge. The PP goes to the extended essay. Criteria stay in the internal assessments. The inquiry, the spirit of inquiry stays. The variety of subjects continues. And the A level also is rendered well with the MYP because you still learn skills, you learn concepts, you learn how to deal with assessments, and you learn how to analyze and evaluate for the A level as well. So the pathway to both is pretty comfortable and has stayed well. We have had one batch of e-assessment happen. Now this is the 2nd batch that is getting ready. We are very happy to, and I think my happiest point was that 50% of the batch got perfect 7 in the personal project, which was something that everybody was passionate about, and that passion also culminated in good grades. That was quite a highlight for us. The average in the school was 42, the world average was 37.56. The highest score that we had was 52 out of 56 points. That was the first batch results, and the 2nd batch is now getting ready for this. So on that note, I've spoken enough. I'll invite 2 students of ours now. So we have Plaksha Rathod, who is in MYP 4 currently, and Muktasid Beg, who is in MYP 5 getting ready for his final assessments. Now they will talk to us very briefly about what their MYP has been for them. Yep, thank you.
Good morning to everyone present here. I'm Plaksha Rathod from MYP4, and to tell the truth, I was sitting there in the audience almost a year ago, listening to everyone speaking about the different subjects to choose from, like the sciences and portfolio to choose from, and the banding that was available for us. It was, choosing subjects is hard if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what career path you want to choose. But it can also be easy for some people if you do know. For me personally, it was quite easy because from ever since I can remember, I always wanted to go towards the engineering or I always wanted to be an engineer or an IS. They are very in the complete different directions, but still. So to pursue engineering, I needed physics and chemistry and maths, and I needed portfolio for my portfolio as DD. Now, here's a fact. I wanted to take visual arts. I wanted to pursue arts as my portfolio. I'm quite passionate towards art, and I enjoy painting and doing art. But I had to take DD because of what I wanted to do in the future. Now here's when the MYP program actually helps me keep up with my art and along with the extra studies and the extracurricular I do. For example, I have all my bands busy. I don't have a free lesson in the band as per the bands. But throughout the week, lessons like clubs, personal project which is about to come up, and other free lessons, I get to go to the art room and do my paint, basically, in complete solitude. There's one thing everybody needs to keep in mind. Choosing subjects should not be based on others, like Sumit sir mentioned. It should be based on what you want to do. It should not be based on the friends you have or the friends you have in the subjects or not. When you choose a subject, it actually shows what you want to do later. It shows that you are capable of doing something. Well, I hope that you guys are going to be happy with whatever choice you make. It's very essential do not leave any regrets while choosing subjects, or it will affect you greatly. And I hope that you let nature take its course. Thank you.
All right, so a very good morning to everyone. I'm Muktasid Beg from MYP 5, which is grade 10. Firstly, I would talk about choosing the subjects part, and then I would move on to why I found MYP so special. So when it comes to choosing subjects, I saw a lot of my peers think of, okay, what career path am I going to take? And then they decide their subjects. What approach worked for me instead was I just thought about what creates a spark in my mind, what makes me curious, and according to that, I choose my subjects. And then I decided that the career path will build itself later on. Right now, the priority should be that you choose your subjects according to what you really want to learn about. For example, when in my daily life, for example, I'm brushing my teeth, I think, why does toothpaste work? Why can't I just use water? What's different about toothpaste? So I wanted to learn about chemistry. I wanted to understand how this all works. So I took the sparks in my brain, the things that I wanted to learn about, and from that I chose the subjects. So that is a very important thing to focus on. Forget the career, that will build itself later on. You just trust your natural instincts and go with what you truly want to learn about. Now, I'd like to talk about open-mindedness, which was already discussed, but I'd like to point it out again because it's very important. I always thought that I'm going to go with IGCSE. I don't even want to consider MYP. But what happened was that not a lot of students chose IGCSE, so the school couldn't offer it at that time. But I think it's one of the best things that happened to me in my school years because, and I'll be explaining that now. In MYP, you have criterion, which I really love. You see other boards in examinations, for example, math or physics, let's say physics. You have simple problems. This is the momentum, calculate the speed. This is the mass, calculate this. In MYP, you will have that in criterion A, which is your knowing and understanding. But in criterion B and C, you'll be designing an entire experiment. You'll take a quantity and figure out how this affects this. How does mass affect acceleration? How does this affect this? You'll be investigating. You'll be writing a method for the experiment. You'll be taking results of experiment, analyzing them. In criteria D, you'll have a problem or a real life thing like electric vehicles, and you'll be asked to write an essay. How do electric vehicles impact the environment? How do they impact the economy? What political effects do they have? So what the IB does, what it did for me is it builds the entire mind in all the aspects instead of just knowing how to calculate something. In Spanish, you have to listen and you have to speak as well instead of just reading and writing. So it builds all aspects of your mind. And there's the personal project. You take what you're truly interested about, and that can be anything as long as it adheres to the guidelines. But for some students, it was writing a novel of their own. For some students, it was photography. For some students, it was coding. It can be anything. So in the personal project, you learn to make goals, you learn to plan everything. And once you plan, you have a learning goal, what do you want to learn, and a product goal, what do you want to make. For that product, you'll have this criteria. For this product should work like this. And once you've made it, then in the end, you have to reflect. okay, did I make the product successfully? What do others say about the product? You have to present it and everything. So in conclusion, I'd just like to say that what the MYP did for me and why it was special for me is it builds all aspects of the mind, and that is something invaluable. Thank you.
Are you inviting
Yeah.
Namrata?
Thank-
Okay, I'll do
okay.
that.
I was just thanking him. Thank
so
you.
I'm just being a timekeeper now. Initially, we decided we will close with the entire session at 9:15, which is 9:15. We will extend it now. And may I please request the parents to give us more time of yours so that the session is more meaningful. Ms. Namrata, please continue as you planned. Don't be under pressure. And so will Ms. Namrata Mishra also. We'll have our career counselor later coming. So we aim to leave this Audi because 10 o'clock, the primary school will have their assembly here. We will leave the Audi at 9:40 instead of 9:15. We'll have more time. And then we make space for them to come and we will move out from here to have tea and coffee and disperse. Thank you very much. Over to Ms. Namrata, our coordinator who will coordinate the IGCSE for us.
Good morning. I am Namrata Pandey. I am the Cambridge coordinator here taking care of IGCSE and A-levels program. IGCSE is a very structured program. It gives you specific, so I'll be very specific with my... I think it's not working. Okay, so IGCSE is a very structured and specific program. It's not vague. So my slides are also very specific. So as the world's most popular international qualification, IGCSE builds and inspires you to love learning. I mean, it gives you deep knowledge of the subject. Subject expertise is what IGCSE and A-levels talks about. It also talks about skills for the future, which Mr. Abraham had in the beginning. So all the skills are very much present in the IGCSE program as well. It is typically for the learners aged 14 to 16 years. And Cambridge has a clear pathway. It has 5 stages leading up to the final A-levels qualification. As an authorized Cambridge school, we offer upper secondary, which is IGCSE qualification, along with AS and A-level program. And each stage builds and helps learner to prepare and thrive in and outside the classroom. Again, learner is at the center of the program, similar to IB program. The Cambridge education has always been associated with excellence, and there are various factors which the universities consider will be there in a Cambridge learner. The 3 important skills that university always talks about is ability to analyze, the ability to synthesize, and the ability to communicate. So the curriculum is built in such a way that the Cambridge learner will have these learner attributes embedded in them. So you will find a Cambridge learner to be engaged, confident, innovative, and reflective. A global perspective. The program is flexible. As a school, we can adapt to the curriculum. We can make the subjects compulsory. There is nothing compulsory in IGCSE, however, so we can be flexible in that manner. The curriculum can be adaptable to global and national curriculum alongside giving it an international outlook. If I talk about the key benefits of the program, it has worldwide recognition and it's an ideal foundation for IBDP and A-levels program. They acquire the skills, they gain empathy towards the culture of the national and the international curriculum. It's a student-centric approach backed by inquiry-based learning. So it's not that an IGCSE student is always reading the textbook and writing the answer. There is active learning happening in the classroom. We have inquiry-based learning. All science classes will have activities wherein you will be compelled to think why we are doing this, instead of what, which comes naturally after you discover why. The focus is, of course, on performance. Ultimately, when you go to your colleges are going to look at your transcript. They will look at what was your score in grade 10 and grade 12. So, of course, focus is on performance. And for that, The pattern of assessment is such that the child will not feel stressed in the end. The layout of the question paper is very simple. It caters to all learners who need the basic outlook in the question paper. However, it is also challenging. So it's a mix of challenging and the simple layout. So again, key learning skills, problem solving skills, investigative skills are all developed throughout 2 years of the IGCSE curriculum. We have a wide variety of subjects, so degree of choice, it is encouraged in the curriculum. The big advantage of Cambridge examination, IGCSE, is the wide range of supporting material which is available. You have learner's guide for the students to look at before you appear for the final examination. There is whole checklist given to you wherein you can see whether I am prepared or if there is something extra I would need to do. You have full syllabus booklet available, so you know what is coming up in grade 10. You have past papers available, you have topic-wise questions available, so you have everything which prepares you for the final examination. The examinations in IGCSE are pen and paper assessment. Again, the biggest advantage after the supporting material, I would say, is you can split your examination in 3 series. If you've taken up 6 subjects, if you feel I'm prepared for math, suppose, you can finish your math examination for IGCSE in grade 9 itself. You can give June series and finish off mathematics, then you're left with the rest of the 5 subjects. Or you can split your subject in 3 series. I'm going to give 3 in March, 3 in June, and 3 in November. So that kind of flexibility is also offered because there's no average taken in IGCSE. So when you receive the result, each subject will be graded. There is no average. The highest grade that a student achieves is A star. So I've already talked about high quality learning resources which are offered. Textbook resources are always available. However, there are topic wise questions, so your child is engaged at at their own pace. I can proudly say that all teachers teaching IGCSE curriculum at our school are Cambridge examiners. This gives them the opportunity to give quality feedback because they are correcting papers. They know where the child would be, what is the advantage of writing this command term in this question. So they are very specific when they give feedback. Also, this gives them the opportunity to connect with the other teachers worldwide so they can share their best practices. Now, IGCSE assessments are at the end of 2 years. However, there's a flexibility to split your examination. Again, the assessments are written, oral, coursework, and practical assessment. In your languages, you have listening paper, you will have writing paper, you will have oral assessment. So all 4 components are taken care of. Your English, first language English, will have coursework component where one paper will be a written paper, the other paper would be a coursework paper. In sciences, you will have practical assessments. Art and design will have coursework. Music will have coursework. So it gives the learner the opportunity to demonstrate their learning through various mediums here. The options for students of different ability, meaning you will have core and extended option available in mathematics and sciences. However, we encourage all students to take extended because in core, the highest grade that the child can achieve is a C. So we don't want a C reflected in the transcript. However, if you think that maths is something I'm not going to pursue in grade 11 and 12 level and I'm not good at it, but I need to complete the basic requirement, you can opt for core mathematics. But at grade 9, we start with extended and then take a call whether we want to shift you or you can manage extended mathematics. The grades I've already told are ranging from A star to G, A star being the highest. Now, very specifically at Prometheus, we offer 14 subjects. After a careful consideration, we thought minimum of 6 should be the compulsory thing. Maximum you can go up to 6. So based on this, the banding for this year looks like this. English as first language English is compulsory. One of the second language is compulsory, French, Spanish, Hindi. Mathematics is compulsory. Extended mathematics is what we will encourage everybody to take because mostly colleges require you to do one humanities till grade 10. We've made history compulsory. Then from band 5, 6, 7, you can either leave one band altogether if you're opting for 6 subjects, or you can pick up one from each. So physics, bio, business studies are banded together, chem and eco, and computer science, art and design, and music. So there are 7 bands. If a child picks up 6 subjects, you can leave one band altogether. However, we would encourage everybody to pick up 7 because it's not that difficult to complete 7 subjects. Okay, now the points to consider for the curriculum. If you want to pursue your passion after your studies, it gives you a lot of bandwidth because there are no extra elements. As MYP has personal project, IDU, CAS, you can always do these elements, but not as a part of your examination process. So it's not a core, it's not compulsory. You can take it as extracurricular activities. So an IGCSE student in our school will also be doing CAS. They will be going for CAS lesson. However, you will not be assessed for the examination in IGCSE. Likewise, you can also pursue, similar to personal project, you can do passion project. You can pick up a topic of your choice. You can research. Nobody is stopping you to pursue your passion there. And also, if you pick up 6 subjects of your choice, you will have the bandwidth to pursue it. Again, the curriculum is structured and global in perspective, while also focusing on the national issues at the same time. It's a seamless entry in A-levels and IBDP. It focuses on the core and the subject expertise, which IBDP and A-levels talk about. So it's a seamless entry. You will not find gaps in the content. A wide range of subjects and flexibility. So these are 4 points you should consider before you pick up a curriculum. Specifically to IGCSE, these are biggest advantages of the IGCSE curriculum. So we had June 2023 examination and March 2023 examination for IGCSE students. So see, they've already split up examination. If you see Ishan, he's taken maths, chemistry, physics, music in June, and he had taken global perspective and Hindi in March series. So that kind of flexibility gave him the opportunity to perform and shine. He's got 4 A stars and 2 A's. So you can manage your time, you can divide your time accordingly if you planned your 2 years wisely. May I now invite Yashika and Mannat to talk about IGCSE?
Hi everybody, I'm Mannat Nagpal,
And I'm Yashika Salvan.
and both of us did IGCSE in 9th and 10th grade.
So today we're going to be telling you a little bit about our experience.
And some of the differences between IGCSE as a board and IB.
So one of the key features of IGCSE, like Ms. Namrata mentioned, is the flexibility. The flexibility with the exam schedule allows you to explore as many extracurriculars as you want outside of your academic performance, which isn't impacted. So for example, I was able to do my art and design exam within 1 year, which allowed me to free up more time in the next year for horse riding and other subjects. It offers the opportunity for students to select their subjects with minimum requirements. However, our school is offering guidelines because they want to make sure you guys do the best, especially when it comes to college applications. This being said, it also means that IGCSE may be better for those of you who have some idea of what they want to pursue later on.
There's a lot of structure in IGCSE. IGCSE learning is very organized. There is tons of resources for us to refer to. For example, syllabus guides, learners guides, past papers, and mark schemes. Different to MYP, which is a lot more conceptual. There's a lot of rich content, a lot of depth. There's a lot of skill, and it exposes you to a high level of content, which appropriately prepares you for the board. For example, IGCSE art and design is a lot more skill-based rather than being more analytical, which is what IB does.
So in choosing which curriculum you want to take forward, it's important to consider your own learning habits and what's best for you. So AS and DP are both highly structured, meaning IGCSE is able to better prepare you for these courses.
For example, IGCSE exams are all handwritten, similarly to how it is in 11th and 12th grade.
This brings us back to the structure point. In IGCSE, the exams are mark-based, unlike MYP, again, which is criteria-based. However, we do have like practicals and coursework. Personally, I did MYP up until 8th grade, and then I switched to IGCSE. And I did find it easier because of the structure. The structure gave me a lot of focus because I knew exactly what to expect from my exams. So I knew exactly how to study, what to write. This gave me a lot of confidence and focus in preparing for my exams, basically. And lastly, IGCSE does not require you to do subjects like IDU and personal project. This allows you to focus on profile building for the career that you actually want to pursue, like go in that line of extracurriculars.
So to conclude, both IGCSE and MYP offer valuable learning experiences. But if you prefer flexibility and structure, then IGCSE might be the right fit for you. However, it's important to remember that it's all about what works best for you.
Okay, thank you.
Any question that we have? Later? Okay. Okay, we'll take it later, maybe after the career counselor. Please scan this QR code to refer to all the syllabus booklet. You'll find all the syllabus booklet in this link. Also, we have the subject choice form. Along with that, I have given you the snapshot of each and every subject for you to better understand the IGCSE curriculum. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I think this is too loud now. Every time I stand here, I'm supposed to be Lady Justice, giving you the right kind of advice. But before that, I'd like parents to understand when you're applying to universities post grade 12, what is it that they are looking for? And if you have that in mind, it's easier for you to choose what kind of a curriculum you'd like to go into. In terms of recognition of both IGCSE and the MYP, they are absolutely at par. You do not gain by choosing one over the other. So that's what I'd like to start with. So high school is actually grade 9 to grade 12. So you'll hear a lot when universities they write about requirements, they'll write about high school, and that's grade 9 to 12. And it's very, very crucial. Everything that they do from starting grade 9 to grade 12 is important for university decisions. Okay? Now, it's early. You cannot say we did not know. Every country, depending on where you're applying, will, the importance of grade 9 or grade 11 will depend on the country that you're applying for, or this child is applying for. So, and it starts with your subject choices, okay? So marks that you achieve in grade 9 to grade 10 are important. The marks will be good if you choose the right kind of subjects. And for that, it's important that when we are picking up subjects, and we can go into greater detail as to what is required in each of, type of career. I am not saying that the child should be absolutely sure that, oh, you know what, I really need to go into chemical engineering. No. Is the child a more tech-focused child, or is the child a more humanities, social sciences child, or is the child, moving more towards design and art? What kind of a child is, the student that we are talking about? So, suppose, for example, if the student has picked up, physics, chemistry, or wants to do medicine, wants to be in the field of health, and has not taken physics, chemistry, biology in IGCSE or the MYP. We are allowing that kind of a choice right now in school. They can pick up all the 3 sciences if they want to. And we are making sure that a banding is allowing that for a student, because they will need to take up physics, chemistry, and biology in A levels or in DP. Fine? So if we do not take up something, say a chemistry is dropped or a biology is dropped, and health sciences is something that the student wants to take, or maybe the mind would change and it's not medicine, but maybe something related to biomedical sciences, we need to make sure that the subjects chosen in grade 9 are there for, you've done some basis so that you can take it in your A levels or in your DP program later on. Also, the universities will look at what kind of extracurricular activities that the child is doing. Both curriculums have equal emphasis on that. Of course, with the DP, the MYP program, you've got the personal project. With the IGCSE, if you don't have it in the curriculum, you have enough time to do that. I mean, don't pick one up over the other thinking that, I'm getting this in the curriculum, within the curriculum. That's not how you look at it. You have to talk and think about what your child is like. Do they need, I won't say that, the MYP does not have a structure or the only IGCSE has a structure. That's very wrong. If there is an assessment at the end of both exams or both curriculums, they all have to have a structure because they have to be graded on something. Yeah. So this whole feeling of, that is very vague and this I understand better, is not how you look at the curriculum. You have to look at how your child is and what they think and what they feel is more comfortable for them to do. Now, so transcripts, and I'm coming back to it. It is a transcript for everyone, for you to understand, is something that the school sends out to universities, which has a record of all grades that they achieve starting grade 9. So it'll be the grade 9, term 1, term 2, 10th, term 1 and final exams, 11th, term 1 and final exams, and grade 12, half yearly and predicted grades. That's the transcript. So every exam that the child takes is important in school. Please ensure that they study for each, and children, you know that every exam that you take in school is important, and starting grade 9, it will matter for college admissions. Also, how consistent are you? So if you want to be consistent, if you want to really do well in the subjects that you might want to take later on, you have to take the right subject, okay? This is the basis for anything that you're going to do later on in life. And suppose, you've had a bad year in grade 9, something happened, you were unwell, or there was a family issue, or you were simply distracted, okay? That also happens. You have to make sure that once you do that, you get up and have an upward graph. That's very important. If you've gotten a B, your effort should be to remain at a B everywhere, or a 6 in MYP all the time, or improve. Never go down, never go below what you've already achieved. That's important for you. And believe me, for every university admission, the one thing that matters most is your transcript, be it anywhere in the world. All that you do outside of that, your co-curricular activities, your extracurricular activities, are all over and above the transcript. So being regular to school, being able to study and get the right grades is important. Don't pick up a subject because your friend is picking up a subject. Fine? Because you're not going to do well. Don't pick up a curriculum because you have friends going into that curriculum. Pick up one that you feel that you're going to do well in. Now, okay, it will what subject you take or not take will define what you're going to do later in life, okay, from grade 9 onwards. For example, and you did see that we've got history as compulsory in IGCSE. We have integrated humanities, which is compulsory in the MYP. It is because most universities want at least 2 years of history or humanities done in the 4 years of high school. We feel that if a student is a tech, science, tech, engineering kind of a child, they will want to drop it early on. And then if you're looking at a competitive university, and especially in the US, if you're looking at a Princeton, and you can go and do that actually, go and look at requirements, academic preparation for students for any top university in the US, they will say 2 years of history. They also say a second language. They also say mathematics. So having math compulsorily for 2 years in 9th and 10th is important. Even if you do the lowest form of math, it is fine, but do the 2 years of mathematics. You should not be ineligible to apply or your application to be at a disadvantage because of the wrong choice of subjects. And that's the effort that the careers office is going to put with each one of you, that you do not choose something that later on you say, oh, I did not know. That's the saddest thing for a career counselor like me, that we've not really given you the right kind of an advice. So, make sure your choices are well done. The other is to understand academic versus non-academic subjects. Again, another website I would ask you to go towards is the LSE website, London School of Economics and Political Science. So LSE's website very clearly mentions preferred and non-preferred subjects. Now, although that is mainly for the A-level subjects and your grade 11 and 12, but you do understand the basis for that. And, while in school, and if, ma'am, I may say, we did have a lot of conversations about, a lot of schools put global perspectives research as one of the subjects in IGCSE. And we have not offered that because that is non-academic. All the subject choices that we have put in our grouping of subjects is very well thought out, and we make sure that those are pure academic subjects so that there is a great, foundation in 9th and 10th that we put for the students. Basis that and building on that, you pick up your subjects in A-levels or the DP program, whichever one you want to go. Moving from either program to, say, an A-level or a DP is not difficult. So don't think that if you want to take the DP, you need to take MYP, or you want to take A-levels, so you need to take IGCSE. You can decide later on. You can take either of the two curriculums right now and move interchangeably into the ones at grade 11 and 12. That's again something very important. And I think you also need to understand how, don't only pick up, say, oh, I'll only do business and economics. And let me tell you one thing, and I mean, you may be interested, but business studies as a subject, unfortunately, and I say that not to put any subject down, but unfortunately universities overseas do not consider that very academic. If you look at the top business programs or business schools, they don't teach business in the undergraduate level. Harvard does not teach business. Oxford does not teach business. Cambridge does not teach business. Princeton does not teach business. Stanford does not teach business. I've named 5 universities that don't teach business. But if the child is really interested in business, take it. But then you have to understand that you are looking at another kind of university. Then you're looking at a Wharton, which teaches business, or an MIT that teaches business. So your, the thought process has to be slightly clear. I'm not saying very, very clear, but slightly clearer than what we have. Economics is perfectly fine. Economics is very, very academic. So again, what do you want to do? Coming to students who want to take design, they say, oh, you know what, we shouldn't take physics, so we don't want to take maths because I'm only going to go into art. I still feel art needs a little bit of math. Yeah? Until unless you're just doing abstract fine art, even that requires some amount of art. If you want to go towards architecture, or you want to go towards, and everything is going to be technology written, okay? So dropping it so early in 9th and 10th is not something I would advise. Keep it till 10th at least. And then don't pick it up in 11th and 12th. But in 9th and 10th, keep your maths, keep your sciences, do everything that you can do. All of us, I'm sure most parents, we've all been part of either the ICSE or the CBSE, yeah? We didn't have a choice. And going back to the choices that we make now, what Mr. Abrams started with, is so important. I think at certain time, and especially these 2 years, you may want to make those choices for your child. Because as a parent, they're too young. They're 14 or 13 or 14. They really don't know what is good for them. They always feel the parents don't know what's good for them. They feel that, they are forcing us. And that will continue till 19 years of age, till the teenage years. So I think we've all learned to live with that, and you will learn to live with that. I have lived with it, Sonali ma'am would have lived with it. Our children think that we know nothing, yeah? The whole world can listen to me, but my child, when she had to pick up her subjects, did not listen to me. So, because I'm the mother, the devil in the house. But, you can, if they're not listening to you, get them to the professional. I will make them understand objectively what is important right now. Of course, there is an issue, of course, we can discuss, it's individual, but generally speaking, concentrate on a wider range of subject choices. Don't really narrow it down to a level where there is nothing available later on. For students, study skills, very, very important. You really need to study, okay? These are the most important. The last 4 years of your school life are the most important. You have to study. There'll always be a reason to not study. But if you find one reason to study, do that, pick that up. Also, something I read many, many years ago, in the educational system, the only thing that you can change is you. Okay? There's nothing else that you can change because it's curriculum, there are boards and there are teachers, there's school policies. The only thing you can change is yourself. So you have to take onus for everything that you do. You should not require your parents to sit with you, your mom to sit with you. She's finished her college or she's finished her school education. She doesn't need to do another curriculum with you. You should learn to be disciplined because what you're learning right now is going to take you forward in life, actually. Discipline. Being able to put distractions to a side. Not using your phone, not using social media for every hour, needing that, I need to see Insta. Nothing is going to happen in your life in 1 hour if you have to, that's the time you need to study, okay? And cultivate creativity. learn, question, curious, because that's what universities require. Be it India, be it overseas, everyone wants curious students. You will, if you study well, you're disciplined, you can do everything that you want to. 24 hours in the day, 8 hours of sleep, and the remaining a couple of 8 hours to school. What do you do on your way to school? Do you sleep? Do you bully each other? Do you tease each other? Do you dance? Or do you read a book? If you have a free class, you have a library school, what do you do in that? Do you sit down and read a book? Or you just are teasing each other? Or do you go into, think about how you and where you're wasting your time. That's very important. On extracurricular activities, quickly, these are activities that you choose outside of your chosen topic or things that you do. And it just shows a lot of qualities. I'm not going to take too much time on this, but yeah, extracurricular activities are very important. You can do a whole lot of things. You can, do social service. You could do, debate. You could do MUN. You could do swimming, story, whatever you want, drawing, painting, anything. Fine? But the more important part is the supercurricular activities. Reading is very, very important. Once you go to college, you have to read pages and pages of books. Once you're in the IGCSE or the MYP, you have to do a lot of reading. So start reading all kinds of books. You don't want to read, listen to a book. You've got audiobooks now. Okay? Listen to podcasts. Do a lot of work experience and activities. There was the profile building fair happened last Saturday. If you feel that you need to enroll in some summer activity, do that. Do something more constructive than sit like a potato and watch Netflix. Okay? Get up, go and play a sport, learn a new skill, learn to play a new, instrument, something, learn something new, learn a new language. Do online courses. There are so many online courses available. Do something that keeps you occupied. And all of this will also help you decide what you really like to do. Okay? So, supercurricular activities, what you're doing from now will really help you in college admissions. Also, when you're doing something, keep a note of the book that you've read, write a reflection of that book, create a Google Doc. You've heard a podcast, write your views on it, okay? I'm happy to read that for you and give you comments on what you've done, anything new that you've learned. If you keep a track of whatever you've read through, when you're finally writing your college essays in grade 12, remember anything that you read, you don't really remember what you felt, you read and what you understood of it, but you always only stay back with feelings. Fine? And that's not important. What we want to know is how you thought and what you learned. So reading is important, work experience and activities are important, and of course, any workshops that you do, try. Don't think I don't like it. Try it. Give yourself, if you do not try it out, you will never know what you like or you don't like. How do these show? They show a lot of, leadership skills, time management. You've done hundreds of things and you've also managed to do well in your subjects, but nothing at the cost of your studies. Nothing at all. Fine? If you have bad grades, even if you get, say, the best test score for a standardized test that you take, say a Cambridge exam that you've taken or the SATs you've taken, you got a 1600 on 1600. If your transcripts are bad, the top colleges will not look at you. Okay, so marks are the first and foremost in every place. I'm going to end now. For appointments, I've given you my email ID. Please write and fix an appointment. And we're going to take questions. Thank you.
We'll be a little focused in questions because we are at 9:41. Yes. questions from children maybe?
How many bands can we keep free in MYP?
The curriculums that we take in ninth grade, are they valid for our college applications later on? Like, can we mention them that we've done those curriculums in ninth grade? From ninth to 12th, whatever we do that comes in our college applications. All right, thank you.
Miss, for me, both my needs are like, for example, I need a versatile way to study for like IGCSE, but then my subjects that I need are in IB. So then, how can I properly choose between the two if